No one you know on Twitter. Yesterday, some of us were at TwitterCon in DC, and Steve Rubel, as he wants to do, got a charge out of people, and he said, since January, Twitter's numbers have plateaued. And he said, where are the next 1 million Twitter users going to come from? So I'll ask you, but I also have a more important question. Since I'm from Boston, where did you go to dinner with Jeremiah?
We went in the North End. It was in Revere Square. I forgot the name of it, but it was Italian. I know the spot. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, so where do the next million people come from? It's Steve's a friend of mine, and with all deference to Steve, he has a long history of predicting the death of everything which never dies. When Twitter had 2 million users, its numbers were really exciting. Last year it really leveled off. It only increased by 1,150 users. So every time you have a line going like this and you have a little level off, that isn't the death of anything. When we look at all these numbers, we have to remember we're still at the beginning of every slope. Actually, now I remember what my closing was supposed to be, and I'm going to stick it in, so thank you. I'm supposed to address the future of social media, and I'm old enough to know that anybody who predicts the future really hasn't lived through it. It's filled with surprises. Will Twitter be here forever? No, something will come along and will surprise me when it does. What I do think is that we're at the end of the beginning era. We're at the end of a time when a whole bunch of new... I'm hearing voices. And I'm not that religious, so I'm very worried. Social savior.
Shel, you've been a bad boy.
Tell me more. It was you. And boy, that was clever. What was it? Oh, the future. We've gone through a period of enormous innovation of tools. All this stuff has come in very, very quickly. It's all very disruptive to most of the people in the world. It's forcing them not to do what they've always done. And we've gone through periods like this before. You don't see it at first. The guys on the stagecoach going across the desert, when they got passed by the Iron Horse, one didn't turn to the other and say, "Yo, Jeb, I think we've just been obsoleted." People are struggling with the fact that they've spent their lives modeled their businesses on certain best practices that have been refined and polished and rubbed down so you can get every dime you possibly can do. And that's what businesses do. That's what businesses have to do. Everything needs to become more efficient. So I think we're going into a period that's a lot more boring than the one we've been through. I think we're going into a period of normalization of social media tools. They start getting polished and refined. The employee of tomorrow is going to come to a desk and here's your desk, here's your computer, here's your email account, here's your telephone, and here are your social media. Here's the naming policy we have for social media. Now use these tools that you already know because you grew up using this stuff to do your job. And we've learned the best thing to do is give you tools and trust you and let you do your job. That's the future that I see. It's not dramatic. It will make a lousy book. But all that's going to happen now is like the car. At first, the people that drove cars, first of all, they had to be men. They had to be athletically certain. Read the early days of the automotive industry, and you had to understand the principles of internal combustion. And in time, they became cars, and the only news was when they didn't work the way they were supposed to, when they hit each other or broke down on the side of the road. Other than that, you just expected them to be there to get you to work or get you to where you're going. Social media is about to go through that. It's going to go through a long, steady period of slower growth. I know it won't be good for Steve or Edelman, but it's going to just normalize.